Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to start off just with an introduction of Ventura, and I'll give you a little bit of background and what's changed in the past year and since I've kind of taken over. So in the past 18 months, the Ventura Center has grown right about, we figured out 500%. When I came in to Ventura, there was very, very little activity. So in the last year, we've actually been able to serve 15 to 20 middle school and high school kids on a daily basis. So some of the stuff that we've brought to Ventura recently are some gadgets, you know, IMAX, games, obviously. We introduced a tutoring program so that we could cover the academic portion of that as well. And obviously some good stuff for the teens to be able to relate to and connect to. So now that we've created that kind of tight-knit community and that we have the kids and we've kind of begun these relationships with them, we started reanalyzing what else can we do for these kids and kind of back up for a second and see what else we could introduce to them other than the things that we were just kind of leading already. So to do that, we kind of sat down and we thought about, okay, what are the focuses of Ventura? What do these kids need? What do their families need? And we kind of catered it specifically to that. So with that, we came up with 5 new focuses for the Ventura Center.
So following along the strategic goals of both the association and the movement in the community to really support the developmental assets and the health and the well-being of our teens, we focused in on 5 different things. Healthy lifestyles, positive relationships, diversity, motivation for the future, and the spark, what makes kids excited. And so we took apart our curriculum as a whole, as a teen center, as a drop-in teen center, and we decided that we were going to take those focuses and that the goals for our teens at the Ventura Center would all revolve around these 5 things. The first one we talked about was healthy lifestyles. And one thing that was apparent as our association of the YMCA had been going through their pieces is a lot of the community still defines healthy lifestyles as exercise or physical health. We wanted to make sure that we had a complete healthy lifestyles vision as we were building this curriculum. One of the great collaborations that we do have is with our sister branch at the Page Mill YMCA. And continuing off of a program that we started this year, we will be sending our high school students over to the Page Mill YMCA so that they can get very specific training. They're also coming and working with our middle school students and working around healthy diet and proper exercise. We also didn't want to hinder some of the healthy stuff that's already happening. So informally, our teens will come in and play soccer. And so making sure that they have the ability to continue that and continue other games that are just, that'll be organically started. And making sure that they have goals and basketballs and things that they want to do. So it's not all curriculum based and done specifically for them. Some of the other things that we had looked at is, one of the things we started in the branch is our Teen Zumba program. So bringing relevant exercise that's fun and exciting and have a real buzz to the Ventura Center. Along with that, we talked about other things about health. So we've had a couple different programs that we'd like to start up this coming year. We've talked about a babysitting program, giving them the skills to be able to provide for their, a lot of them have brothers and sisters. So it's not only about having them start their own business, but really actually giving them the skills to take care of their family at home. One of the things about our Ventura Center teens is a lot of them come from either single family home or what was identified a long time ago as a latchkey home, where both parents are working and that their parents are just working very hard, but it leaves them home alone with either their brothers or their sisters or alone. A lot of them are learning English as a first language, or they might be the first person in their family to actually graduate, not only from college, but some of them from high school. So we wanted to make sure that we're able to support their growth in that. Some of the other things that we will be starting this year, simple cooking classes. How do you make a healthy snack? How are you able to provide yourself? Too much is processed and provided and easy to get at a low cost. How can we change that mindset to make sure that they're able to take care of their own health and see healthy living in their food? One of the big focuses for the community right now in Palo Alto is identifying if there's somebody else who needs help in the community. Project Safety Net talks a lot about the Gatekeeper Program that we will be rolling out in the community to identify, are there teens who might need a little extra help. As a YMCA, we've already committed that we will be having one of those trainers, so why not translate that to our teens and training them to be into the Gatekeeper Program, so they can also identify, hey, if I have a friend who's not feeling good, is that they're having a bad day, or is there something greater that we need to look into? We're partnering with a group called Common Sense Media that really is, their whole purpose is to train teens and youth to be more aware of their digital footprint. When they post something or when they are on the internet, do they actually know what's happening with the information, whether it's just filling out forms or if they are on Facebook, what's being said. So they have a lot of curriculum that we're going to be borrowing just to train our kids to say, hey, did you know that this is what you're doing? And of course, membership to our YMCA. This was really important. Ventura being even, I'd say, 2 miles away from our branch, it's still a challenge to get those kids over to our branch. What we want to do is we really want them to make sure that we want them to feel like they're part of our YMCA and that the difference of location isn't the challenge for them. So providing memberships to our branch, and then not only creating programmings at the Ventura Center, but also having programming happening within our building so that they feel a connection to our home branch and office.
So focus number 2 was positive relationships. So some of the things that we have already been running at Ventura that we want to really focus on even more and expand is what we've called VTAB, or Ventura Teen Advisory Board. So introducing them to responsibilities and participating and really being the core group into what is coming to Ventura, making decisions, really bringing the things that they want to do. So this coming year, we have our core group, so this coming year we're really going to focus on having them really be a part of all these new changes and these new programs that are coming to the center so that they can have a voice as well. Some of the things that we're proposing and that we are looking into starting up as well is an adult and teen mentoring program, and then a teen preteen mentoring program. So just how teens, whatever's defined as a teen already versus a preteen, has that kind of adult role model, that presence in their life, whether that be college students or community partners or whatever that is. And also, the teens helping the younger teens, the preteens that are getting to that stage. So giving them the opportunity to give back to their peers, to their younger peers as well. So one of the ways that we've talked about building that is connecting with Barron Park Elementary School, where most of our kids I know at Ventura currently graduated from an elementary. So maybe connecting with the younger kids there, maybe reaching out to the 5th graders that are getting up to the preteen stage and introducing them to Ventura, what we have to offer, and then allow our teens to be able to talk to them and introduce them to the program and can share their own experiences with that as well. Some of the other things that we wanted to focus on as well is obviously having them be part of campaign. This is something that I guess has been talked about and it's never really happened. So how can we do that? How can we have the teens really be a part of campaign, help fundraise in whatever way they can so that they understand where their center is coming from too and all the help that they're getting, and that they have an opportunity to also give back. And civic engagement, service learning is also a big one too that we want to focus on this year, giving them opportunities to do community service and service to others and stuff like that. Not just because they have to and they have to fulfill that requirement for school, but really helping them understand what the importance of that is, and making it fun, maybe something that they really want to do, or something that they want to start up on their own as well, whatever that may mean to them. So that's as far as positive relationships. I think that's it.
Over the last year, one thing that became very apparent as Anna's been doing the work is really helping our teens understand diversity, and I think that what we found was a lot of them they felt that they were diversity, but they weren't diverse. They didn't understand. They didn't have an understanding of the outside world of what they knew. They kind of felt that they were the diversity of Palo Alto because they were the Ventura Center, but they only identified with themselves. And what we were finding is that they didn't have an understanding of other cultures, and they didn't have an understanding of different home lives and sections. And so it really kind of sparked this particular piece on how do we help teach them, that there's so much more out there. And looking at that, there were a couple of things that we wanted to make sure that we infused into the curriculum. Anna did a great job with a multicultural event, so continuing that and creating events, but also the planning and infusing it on a regular basis. So one of the things that actually came out of our conversations, as well as our leadership from our Ventura Center, was to have cultural potlucks, to really identify food's such a great way to bring people together, using that to be able to tie lessons about culture. And so we're looking to do those once a month over at our Ventura Center, to bring in guest speakers, whether from a diverse background, whether they be handicapped in some way or cultural, to really get the exposure